It's Euro Football Daily and it's Tuesday, which means it's time for the penultimate Euro transfer talk of the summer window. There's a lot to pack into this one, so let's get straight into it. Most of the transfer news coming out of Tottenham Hotspur this summer has surrounded star striker and captain Harry Kane. The 28-year-old reportedly asked to leave the club, with Manchester City of course sniffing around on the lookout for a world-class goalscorer. In the last few days, a new name has been linked with a move away from North London, and that's central midfielder Tanguy Ndombele. Seemingly not part of new boss Nuno Espirito Santo's plans, the Frenchman has too asked to leave the club after being left out of all of the club's pre-season friendlies, despite not featuring in a single international tournament over the summer. Nuno has said it wasn't the right moment for the 24-year-old to be considered for selection, even being left out of the 25-man squad that faced Pacos de Ferreira in the Europa Conference League. 2 years after becoming Spurs' record signing after his £54 million move from Lyon, Ndombele has really failed to settle at the club, despite making 75 appearances across all competitions and having the occasional bright spell. He was of course infamously substituted at half-time in a 1-1 draw with Burnley by Jose Mourinho, who was exasperated with his underwhelming performances. Then at the back end of last campaign, Ndombele would be left out of caretaker Ryan Mason's squad, apparently due to his poor fitness levels. So now it appears all parties are ready for the rocky relationship between Ndombele and Spurs to come to an end, with the hope his future can be resolved before the window shuts in 7 days' time. Perhaps surprisingly, the 7 times capped international has reportedly named his preferred moves as Barcelona, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Whilst that might seem a little far-fetched considering his inconsistent form in the Premier League, one of those 3 is apparently interested. Reports from Sky Germany suggest that Bayern Munich are willing to offer Corentin Tolisso plus €20 million for the Spurs outcast, but Daniel Levy refused to take the initial talks any further. Tolisso, who has been ravaged by injury in recent seasons, was supposedly being touted about earlier this summer for as little as €10 million, let's not forget, putting this offer from the Bavarians in the region of the €30 million range. That's definitely at the lower end of what Spurs are looking to recoup for the fee they paid for Ndombele. That hasn't deterred Levy though from using Ndombele as reported bait for their own player swap deals, reportedly proposing a deal with his former club Lyon in order to acquire Houssem Aouar. With an asking price of around €30 million for Aouar, ESPN say Lyon rejected the initial proposal from Daniel Levy's side, suggesting they were asking for too much money in conjunction with the 23-year-old to take Ndombele back. Juventus are also interested in Aouar, perhaps with Lyon hoping they can get a straight cash deal from the Italians, and as it happens, Juve are the target of another one of Spurs' swap deals. They're also reportedly eyeing Weston McKennie as a potential replacement for Ndombele, with the Frenchman again heading in the opposite direction. McKennie only became a permanent Bianconeri player this summer after they converted last season's loan from Schalke for €18.5 million. The 22-year-old made 34 appearances in his debut campaign in Turin as part of a congested midfield under Andrea Pirlo. But with Max Allegri signing Manuel Locatelli from Sassuolo last week, Tutto Sports suggests they could well be willing to cash in on him already. This could be something of a straight swap should Spurs and Juve enter the possibility of swapping McKennie and Ndombele, with Juve reportedly seeing the Americans' value in the ballpark of €50 million. Although of course, things are never that simple. So the big question is, where do you guys at home think Tanguy Ndombele is going to be playing his football next season? Let us know in the comments below. Because let's face it, swap deals never seem to happen. Before you do anything else, make sure you leave a comment below of your favourite transfer this window. The most liked comment will be read out by the team on Sunday Vibes this week, so keep your eyes peeled. To Manchester City next, but not a rumour linking a player with a switch to the Etihad, but instead one that could be on his way out of the club. Over the summer, it was suggested that Bernardo Silva might be unhappy in northwest England and be ready to move on after 4 years working under Pep Guardiola, after finding himself out of their side in the most recent Premier League winning campaign. His 45 appearances in all competitions, whilst still a significant number, was the lowest since his arrival at City in 2017. Whilst he didn't feature in the opening day defeat to Spurs, instead having a starring role in the 5-0 demolition of Norwich on Saturday. He had previously been linked with a move to Atletico Madrid or Barcelona, although Diego Simeone's side won't meet his reported asking price and Barcelona are obviously unable to afford anyone right now. With Guardiola admitting in a recent press conference that Silva did indeed want to leave the club, and despite the manager's preference being to keep him, the City hierarchy are weighing up the possibility of letting him go in order to generate more revenue in a final push to sign Spurs' Harry Kane. So who's emerged as the frontrunners for Bernardo Silva's signature? Well, that would be last season's Serie A runners-up, AC Milan. The Rossoneri's plan to sign the 27-year-old would see them spend £15 million this campaign in order to sign him on loan, more than enough to cover his wages, before then turning the loan deal into a permanent one for another £30 million next summer, according to the Daily Star. As unreliable as the Daily Star are, this would see City make their money back for the player they signed from Monaco for £45 million 4 years ago. With Silva reportedly having rejected a move to Spurs as part of the deal to bring Kane to Manchester, time is running out for him to secure regular first-team football away from the Etihad, lest he be just another rotation option under Guardiola this season and probably featuring less following the acquisition of Jack Grealish. City fans at home, let us know, how much is Silva actually worth, and will he get his move away from the window before it slams shut? Answers in the comments. On to Chelsea, who will now be reopening talks with Sevilla over the potential signing of their centre-back Jules Kounde. News of this transfer initially emerged a few weeks ago, but was put on hold as Thomas Tuchel wanted to secure the signing of Romelu Lukaku first. That's done now, with the £97.5 million man scoring on his second debut for the club against Arsenal on Sunday. That means the path is clear for the Blues to make their move for the France international, who featured for 90 minutes in Sevilla's 3-0 season opener against Rayo Vallecano last week. Marca suggested that the 22-year-old's agent has told his current employers that Chelsea will be making a bid early this week, with the fee expected to add up to around £68 million, set to make him the third most expensive centre-back in Premier League history. This one could well end up getting wrapped up pretty quickly. Chelsea are also hoping to see a number of players leave over the next week too, with Davide Zappacosta expected to join Atalanta in a matter of days, according to Sky Sport Italia. Whilst David Ornstein suggests that West Ham are apparently close to securing the signing of centre-back Kurt Zouma. 22-year-old Ike Ugbo, who impressed on loan with Cercle Bruges last season, will be returning to Belgium to join Genk permanently, leaving Stamford Bridge having never made an appearance for the first team. Moving on now to one of the most bizarre transfers of the summer, as it appears Burnley are on the verge of signing Lyon's Maxwell Cornet for a club record £15 million, or so say The Independent. Predominantly a winger in his youth, the 24-year-old has recently been converted to a left-back by former manager Rudy Garcia in the midst of an injury crisis last season, and has continued in that role under new head coach Peter Bosz. Cornet made headlines in 2018 when he scored 3 goals across 2 games against Manchester City in the Champions League. In fact, 4 of the 8 goals he's scored in the continental competition have come against Pep Guardiola's side, also opening the scoring when Lyon knocked them out of the Champions League in 2020. Whilst the role he'll play in Sean Dyche's Burnley squad is yet to be determined, who need all the attacking help they can get after back-to-back defeats opening this season, RMC Sports say Lyon hope to fill this hole at left-back with PSG's Layvin Kurzawa. But we want to know what you think is the most bizarre transfer of the window. Can anything beat this? I mean, surely not. We all know Barcelona's financial situation, as well as their apparent inability to raise any money by player sales. However, despite Clement Lenglet signing a new deal at the club as recently as last October, it now seems that the centre-back could be the club's best hope of making money before the window closes. Roma have emerged as favourites for the Frenchman's signature, and the Blaugrana can only hope to recoup the majority of the €36 million they paid Sevilla for him 3 years ago, as he looked out of favour under Ronald Koeman. Featuring for just 1 minute across their opening 2 fixtures, Corriere dello Sport have said Jose Mourinho's best bet would be to get the 26-year-old on loan with the hope of making it permanent next summer. This could be one to keep your eye on. And finally, as we enter the last week of the window, it looks like one of the biggest sagas of the summer is set to come to an end. In an act of desperation, Fabrizio Romano has said that Rennes have lowered the asking price for starlet Eduardo Camavinga to just €35 million in an attempt to sell the 18-year-old before he leaves for free next summer. And this news has been confirmed by L'Equipe, who claim that Eduardo Camavinga has now definitely played his last game for Rennes. With such a low fee and him definitely leaving the club, it seems that PSG have taken the bait. Despite interest from Manchester United in recent weeks, with the English side appearing to be leading the race at one stage, it's now expected that Camavinga will complete his dream move to the French capital this week, linking up with the likes of Lionel Messi, Neymar, and for now, Kylian Mbappe. Let's be honest though, maybe it's just because I'm gutted he hasn't come to United, but this is a little bit of an underwhelming transfer. It's just a shame we already put out our most boring transfers of the summer over on Football Daily. So that's it for today's episode of Euro Transfer Talk. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button. Like I said earlier, leave a comment for the Sunday Vibes team to read out. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.